JC from Soku Racing. Today is the 8th of March 2021, and tonight I will be changing the colors of my brake calipers on my 2010 Audi B8 S4. I just got this car not too long ago. I got it in February. It's 100% bone stock, and there will be a lot of upcoming videos and content regarding the S4. Eventually, I will be installing a big brake kit, but I thought it was going to be a very good chance for me to show you guys how you can do this very simple DIY outlook modification to your car, in your garage, in your home, or tepi jalan. Now, this is a very simple DIY tutorial that you can do everywhere. Very simple. The minimal tools you need. You need, of course, a floor jack, jack stand, ratchet to open your tires, cleaning compound, tape, plastic bag, cloth to wipe off all the dirt on your brake kit. The spray paint of our choice is going to be GOG 7. You can do this job with any spray, Anchor, Nippon, any brand also can, but we are going to use GOG 7 because GOG 7 is a spray paint designed for automotive use, for your valve cover, for your brake calipers, and blah blah blah. Today we are going to do AB7315 code Blue 7. This is the GOG 7 high heat spray paint. This particular high heat series from GOG 7 is designed to withstand up to 650 degrees Celsius. They have a lot of other series in their product, so I will ask Dash to masukkan the catalog right here. Soku Racing is retailing one can for 55 ringgit, and because my brake calipers are relatively dirty, we are also going to use AB7301 high heat primer. This is just a primer, this is just an undercoat for the brake calipers before we spray the color on. So, without further ado, let's get started. You can choose to do this one wheel at a time, but since we are in our workshop and I have Benson here to help me, we are going to do both of the front first before we move on to both of the back. This is going to be a lot quicker, but if you have nobody to help you out, you can also do it one by one. As usual, we are going to be jacking up the car first, this time with normal floor jacks. And please make sure the car is on jack stand so that it's safe to work on. Before I start to remove the tire and before I start to clean my brake calipers, we apply the first layer of high heat primer. In today's job, we are going to be applying 2 to 3 layers of paint on each caliper depending on how vibrant the color is. You can do up to 3 layers. 3 is the most we would suggest because any more layers would make the paint unnecessarily thick and easy to flake off. Now that the wheel is off, we are going to start cleaning the brake caliper. If you happen to be doing this job on B8 S4 like me, you can go ahead and grab a flathead screwdriver and pry out the S4 logo very gently because I want to keep the S4 logo. So there you go, just very gently, very slowly. And then give the caliper a very thorough clean before we mask off all of the places we do not want the spray paint to land on. Let's get started. For our cleaning compound, we will be using paint thinner because paint thinner works very well on cleaning dirt and grime off your calipers. If you do not have access to paint thinner, you can also get degreaser, throttle body cleaner, or anything that is alcoholic and can fight off grime and grease. What you want to do is, you want to keep cleaning the caliper until there is virtually no dirt or residue coming off. You might also need wire brush to help you get some of the dirt out from tricky spaces. You must clean your caliper very thoroughly because any imperfections is going to magnify itself 10 times after you spray on your color. So you want to make sure that you take your time and slowly just clean your caliper, clean every single surface that you have access to. Now that your brake caliper has been thoroughly cleaned, this is all the dirt and grime, you want to grab your painter's tape and your plastic bag or your newspaper to cover up the places that you don't want your paint to land on. I will be using 2 different plastic bags or newspaper or whatever the material is in your case. One, to cover the rotor from the caliper, and number 2, to cover up the rest of the car from the caliper. Because if I were to spray paint it like this, it's going to get all over the fender, it's going to get all over the inner liner. So Another one here, and I'm going to use it to cover the fender. Everything in the fender liner is all taped up except for the caliper. We want to start with the high heat primer. The primer acts as an undercoat and also a substance that allows the paint to stick on the caliper. Like I said, you do not want the paint to be sticking to anywhere else except for your caliper, so please take your time and do this up slowly. Now with the primer, we are going to do 2 to 3 very light coats until the caliper eventually turns into this primer white color over here. The first coat is going to be very light, and then we are going to wait 10 minutes before we apply the second coat, a thicker second coat, and then another 10 minutes before we apply a thicker third coat. If your caliper has already turned into this color on your second coat, then you can stop at your second coat. So we shall see how many coats it takes for the caliper to turn from this black color to this white color before we spray our blue silver. Give the can a very good shake before you start. And by light, I really mean very light. You want to hold your spray can some distance away from your caliper. This is how light your first coat should be. The first coat should always be very light. This is the first coat, it's done, and it's going to be another 10 minutes before we apply the second coat. While you are waiting, you can also use a heat gun or a hairdryer to cure the paint, to let it cure faster. If not, if you are lazy like me, you just smoke a cigarette and you wait.
A few moments later.
We have just reached the 10 minutes mark. The first coat is officially dry. Now we are going to do a thicker second coat. The color is still not as white as I want it to be, so we are going to wait for the second coat to dry out before we apply a third thick coat. And I think the maximum we are going to do with the primer is 3 coats. So now we just wait for another 10 minutes. While we are waiting for the brake calipers to dry out, I will go ahead and sand out this metal plate over here, because just now when removing the S4 logo, I accidentally fucked it up, and now I'm just going to sand this clean before I spray on a layer of silver. And tomorrow I'm going to head to a sticker shop and ask him to do an exact copy of this S4 logo over here. So this S4 logo will be replaced with stickers. So, fuck. Send it up. We have just hit the 10 minutes counter, and the second layer is officially dry again. And just do the same thing lah until 3 coats. So with the third layer, you can hold your spray can a little bit closer to the caliper because we want it to be a little bit thicker. We want to increase the thickness of the coats as we go. Then just wait for another 10 minutes for the primer to dry, really dry, before we apply our blue silver. Sample, I'll show you what does the blue silver looks like. Ah, nice. We have just reached the third 10 minutes, and now the primer is fully dry, and the whole caliper, as you can see, is all in the primer color. So next up, we are going to spray on the blue silver, and we are going to do as many coats as it takes for the whole caliper to appear blue. I think we are only going to do 2 coats because 1, we are running out of time, and 2, I think 2 coats will be enough for all 4 corners. So as usual, first coat is going to be a light coat, so you just stay some distance away from the object you are spraying. You can also do this without a primer, but we want to do it with the undercoat with the primer, because once the primer is on, it's very easy for your color to show. If we were to do it without the primer, we might need 3 or 4 coats before the color will appear like this. And wait for another 10 minutes. Now that we're all done, you want to check the caliper to see if there is any spots that you have missed. If yes, you may go ahead and touch up the spots right now. If not, you can go ahead and install your rim and then move on to the back. If by any chance you have accidentally sprayed your rotor, don't worry. This part of the rotor you can not clean, because once you drive your car, the paint is just gonna get brushed away. Where you need to clean is the inside of the rotor and the outside of the rotor. So just get some degreaser or paint thinner or throttle body cleaner. And the process at the back is exactly the same as the front. Yeah, it's exactly the same as the front. Time lapse! Now that we're all done, we will head to the sticker shop tomorrow to get our S4 sticker done before we wrap it up. It's 1:40 now, so I'll see you tomorrow.
The next day.
And we have also painted the metal plates from silver to black because I thought silver looked a little weird. So black it is. If it still looks weird, we will be changing out the color again because this is very simple only. Okay. Oh, hi.
下水吗？哎、bro，
你好。
哎、你昨晚写什么鬼哦？
啊，我就是来给你看哦。
哎、妈，你在拍我是吧？
是啦。
咁难啊？
拍你，看你有送我龟龟吗？ Okay, our job is done here. They have a bit of work going on, so I just told him what kind of design I want and he's gonna send it to me tonight. So let's head back to the shop to continue working. Hello, over. Hello? Welcome back to the video. Now, our sticker is done. I've printed it in both silver and black. And now, I'm just going to stick the sticker onto this metal thing. And before I put this metal thing back on my brake calipers. Very nicely done. All the sizes are proportionate. The jarak is like original also. So, I'm very satisfied. Okay. How is it center? Let me use my ruler. Ruler 25. Oh, it's not right. Eh? Oh shit. Luckily I print extra. 6 more to waste. But I think this looks fine. Oh. Okay. And we get a quick picture to post it on my Instagram. Last step of the caliper paint job. You can follow me on Instagram here. This is Soku Racing. And then this is my S-Force Instagram. And this is my personal Instagram. Okay, let's go. Wah, mantap, boh. Ayo. Wow.
They love it when I turn up the bass.